As a sixth grader, I remember sitting on the benches listening to the eighth graders constantly complain about Merced and how there was never anything to do in the city. Soon after that, I found myself saying the same things because I just heard it so often. Now, as a middle schooler, I thought I knew everything. But once I started high school and joined my first club, I realized that I had been criticizing a city that I knew nothing about. Have any of you found yourselves doing this before? I'm sure that we've all seen the articles and heard a bunch of complaints about Merced. Hello, my name is Emily Zasleski, and I have seen firsthand how citizens who are involved in their city can change their community along with their lives. According to an article from the Merced Sun-Star, published February 9th, 2018, found on the Newsbank database on November 10th of 2019, Winco Foods had made a deal with the city of Merced. But have any of you seen this grocery store in Merced? No? Well, that's because the deal folded. Winco representatives decided to do a study in the city before they came. In the study, they asked Merced citizens how well a new store would do if it came to the city. At the Mayor's State of the City address, which I attended on February 9th of 2018, the Mayor said, "Each Mercedian stated that it was a horrible place to do business. Obviously, this was a red flag for the Winco representatives, so they decided to pull the plug on Merced." Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I do not care, Merced does not need another grocery store. But what if this Winco was placed on the south side of Merced, where there are no grocery stores unless you count the bountiful amount of liquor stores? Now we'll never know where it was going to go because of the way our neighbors talked about the city. We were all high schoolers at one point in our lives. During my high school career, I was a part of the Merced Youth Council. In the Merced Youth Council, we focus on making decisions and changes specifically towards youth in the city. We hosted town halls at all of the high schools in Merced and asked them to fill out surveys for us in March of 2019. One of the questions asked was, how many events do you think go on in Merced each month? I'd like all of you to think about that right now as well. 2 events, 5 or 7, maybe even 11 or more? Well, I would like to go to my first visual aid. This is a pie chart showing all of the responses from the high school students. You can see in the blue here at 61.9% that these students thought that there were 2 or even less events that went on in Merced each month. Now, the Merced Youth Council was able to work with the Parks and Recreation Department, and we found that there are more than 11 events that go on each month within the city. It's hard to believe, right? This is an example of just how little people know about the city because they are not truly a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem here. We as citizens are not doing our job to fully be a part of the city. We may be thinking, well, Merced isn't getting any better, so there's no reason for me to do anything. And I have to disagree with you. According to a study done by John Kwan Lee, published January 1st, 2019, UC Merced has made the unemployment rate go down in Merced by a lot. I found his info on EBSCO-Host November 11th, 2019. In fact, according to a graph that I found from fred.stlouis.org on November 11th, 2019, as of September 5th, 2019, our unemployment rate was at 5.5%. This is very good for Merced. This takes me to my second visual aid. This is the graph that I found from fred.stlouis.org, and you can see in the corner here that as of September 5th, 2019, it was at 5.5%. Now this graph goes all the way to the 1990s, so you can see that this is actually very low for the city. city is doing its part to do better. Now we as citizens need to do our part to help. This starts with our mentality on the city. How can we do better? It's simple. Become more involved. There are so many clubs and organizations that you can find here in the city. If you think no one wants your input, think again. Did you know that Supervisor Lee Lore delegates $40,000 strictly for helping Merced County? I had the opportunity to be on the board and delegate money towards different projects in Merced. Now I know that we are all busy with our own lives and may not be able to commit to something like that. So I would like to put your attention to the board for just one more time. This is the Merced Youth Connect app. Here you'll find once it opens that there's a calendar, and if you swipe to the left, you'll see all of the different links that you can click on with different things to do in Merced. One example are just for fun. You can search up all the different things to do. My favorite part is clicking on the new notifications and seeing all of the different things that are happening in Merced. From Little League Baseball to maybe even going to a movie in the park, it tells you the time and location. If we continue to ignore the problems in this city, the mentality of the people that live here will only get worse. Businesses will continue to choose not to come to Merced, and events that will occur with low attendance because nobody knows about it. Merced is not perfect, but neither are we. If we work on being just a little more involved in the city, I'm not guessing, but I know that there will be a change within our community. There are too many people sitting around waiting for things to happen and not enough people going out and creating that change. Help create that change. So my challenge to you all is simple. Go to your app store and find the Merced Youth Connect app. You will be happy to know that it is completely free. I'm asking you to download this app and just scroll through it. We spend so much time on our handheld devices. Why not just add one more thing to do on them? Maybe try turning on the notifications and see what happens, where it takes you. Since I started high school and got more involved, I have seen this city through a whole other perspective. All I'm trying to do is share that perspective with others. My hope is that we will be able to learn more about the potential that this city has and get it to where it should be. Thank you.